All right, so workflow is everything. Today I wanted to talk about some things that I do that optimize my workflow whenever I'm mixing, that allow me to mix in a way where the technology does not get in the way of the mission, and that mission being that we're leading people in worship. So the mixing console is a tool like any other, and it's very important that we keep it in its rightful place of being a tool. It is a means to an end. So the goal is that you are going to reflect what the band is doing on stage and translate that into the room to the listeners. You want to create an environment where your listeners can be deeply connected to what they're seeing and to what they're experiencing in the room. It's more than just creating a distraction-free environment. We've all heard that saying. I think it could be so much more than that. It's creating an inspiring environment that leads people in worship. So we're here at our East Asheville campus today, sitting in front of a Yamaha CL3, and today we're going to talk about how to create custom fader banks so that you can optimize your workflow when you're mixing. All right, so before you do anything, the first thing that you're going to want to look at is who is playing and who is singing in Planning Center. So just pull it up on your app. Check who is playing, the amount of instruments that are on the stage, the amount of vocalists that you're going to have, just to have your head better wrapped around what you need to add to your custom layers. I have that pulled up, and I'll just in a practical sense, I'll just set it on the console and just leave it there, just to have as a reference. So, in order to start making these custom banks, I think it's important to start off by saying you have all of these dedicated channels that will always be there. No matter what you do, these channels will stay there, and you can navigate through them, and you have all of them right there. That can get very inefficient because let's say that we only have 3 vocalists. There's an extra channel there that you don't need. Maybe we only have 1 acoustic guitar instead of 2. So we have an extra channel there that's not going to be used. We have an EG3 that is not going to be used, so that has no practical use of being there for you, and it's just getting in the way. So what we're going to do is we'll go to Setup. We're going to go to Setup, User Setup, and on the bottom here you see you have different preference settings, user preferences. We're going to scroll over to Custom Fader. And at the top, you see A1, A2, A3. And those are the A1, A2, and A3 are reflections of these A1, A2, and A3. So on bank A1, I'm going to put my drums there. So we'll go kick, scroll over to the next one, snare, and you're seeing them pop up over here. Snare bottom, hi-hat, tom 1, tom 2, overhead left, overhead right. And actually like to add my drum reverb on the same layer as well, just because you're going to be it's a part of that instrument in a sense. We'll go to A2. I want to put my bass right up front. So on Planning Center, as you've seen, we have bass, we have 2 electrics, so I'm going to go EG1, EG2. We've also got an acoustic guitar, so we'll go acoustic 1. These can go in any order that you want. These are popping up here on the A2 layer. And we've also got 2 keys players. So we'll go keys 1 and keys 2 as you see them popping up over here. I like to have these and vocals on this layer because these are going to be the instruments and mics that you're riding the most during a service. A drum kit, you can always just grab the DCA over here and ride the entire drum kit as well as the entire groups of other things, but often you're not going to need to change levels on a drum kit in real time, whereas things like there might be an electric part that you know is coming up that you need to ride and be able to grab. It's having it much more accessible is a very good thing. So we're going to put vocals right here. So we'll click down here. We'll go vocal 1, vocal 2, vocal 3, vocal 4. So we see that we have 4 vocals, and I actually like to put my background vocal tracks right with the vocals because they're doing the same thing as a BGV. I'm going to skip a channel, so we'll skip 1, and I'm going to put my reverb and delay right on these 2 here. So we're going to go verb delay. Perfect. So now I have all of these channels that I'm going to be riding often all on one spot. We'll go to A3, and I like to call these my money channels. These are things like the stream. That's a very important one. We'll also put like a headset mic if somebody's preaching locally. We'll do an announcement mic for announcements. Let's see what else we've got here. We'll put a video computer. If you have a video coming up, that's a money channel. And also an iPod for pre and post music. Those are very important things to have. So I like to put my money channels on a dedicated layer. You have a bunch of empty channels over here. If you decide that you want to put other very important things, on this layer, I kind of like to reserve that last layer for the more important stuff that are transitional moments sort of thing. So we've got drums, we've got instruments and vocals, and we've got our money channels. This is the way I like to set up my console. It's going to vary weekend to weekend depending on who you have on stage, but hopefully this is helpful to you in just being able to realize that you can do this to be able to customize it however you want. And I'll go through this another way here too. So we'll go setup, user setup, custom fader. A1, A2, and A3 correlate to these three, and you can choose any channel to go anywhere. Hopefully this is helpful to you, as it's been extremely helpful to me in the past months. I utilize this every single time that I'm mixing a live worship set.